What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another video. Today we have a little bit of a promotional video for a private server that I have been experimenting with for quite a few months. They were originally called WoWFlare, but they are now, due to some complications, called Oblivion WoW. And this is one of my favorite 255 fun servers. And if you've never played on one, I definitely recommend playing on one because they are absolutely wonderful. They have quite a few of them. Some of the bigger ones is Eternal WoW. That is probably the largest one. And then there's a couple of other ones. Eternal WoW is great, but it's very grindy. And this one is really cool just because of the different aspects they have, the customization behind it. And you know what, it's just a lot of fun. It's not real popular, so that's why this is a promotional video to all of my subscribers who are WoW private server players. If this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for a fun server, or if you're just looking for a private server to try out, please come check this server out because I definitely want to get it populated. This is a Wrath of the Lich King private server, by the way, because it's the only expansion that can support level 255. So basically what we're going to do today throughout this entire video is I'm going to go ahead and go over the different aspects of the server for the most part. I originally had a plan, the plan didn't work out, so we're going to go ahead and use the videos I recorded for this video. The first thing that I would like to show everybody is actually the very first starter area. When you first log in, you will actually spawn in this room right here. This is the starter zone. And it's got everything that you will possibly need. It's got your starter weapons, and it's also got your starter armor. Now the starter armor is cloth. Please do not be aware of that. That is actually very basic, very simple. You just gather all the material, all the gear you need, even from the weapons. Grab whatever kind of weapon you need for your class. Weapon master, you know, there's weapon masters there. You have over here, you have a buffer. You know, you can get all your buffs, but you can actually just type .buff, I believe, and it will give you all your buffs. They have a tools thing here, which has restore HP and mana, reset instances, reset cooldowns, reset combat, remove sickness, repair items, etc., etc., etc. Back here you have your mailbox, which you probably won't need. I don't know what any of this junk is, but whatever. And then you have all your class trainers. So this basically has everything that you need to start out. Oh, what the hell? It's even got heirlooms and weapons. Shit like that. I don't know why you would need that, but nonetheless, it's got everything you need to start off with this server. Now, the next thing that we have as you come around here is this beautiful teleporter. This will take you to basically anywhere in the entire server and the entire world, going from the mall, which is the Dalaran Mall, which has everything, including gems, things like that. It has the Professions Mall, which is just like it sounds, the 255 zone, which is what we're in right now, and then these two custom instances with Generation 2, this is the second set of armor you get, and then Generation 3 is the third set. And as of right now, that is all they have. And then I think one of the coolest things that they have in this entire server is Transmog. Because Transmog is just awesome. It was definitely one of the coolest things I thought was ever implemented, because some of my favorite sets are from earlier in the game. So, as you can see, as a paladin, I have the tier 2, which is Judgment, set for the Transmog. And just stay tuned, you'll see kind of a little the circular view of what the Transmogrification mall looks like. So I will check y'all here in a minute, and we will go ahead and scroll right on through the leveling road for 255. Alright, dudes, welcome back. So now, as you will see here, is I am on one of my other characters, and I am simply walking through the leveling zone and just basically showing you guys all the different mobs that they have. It's just your simple leveling zone. It's actually very easy to level on this server because of the fact that every single mob only has 1 HP. Because they didn't want you to feel like you have to spend an hour or 2 hours just grinding away at your levels, because a lot of 255 servers are that way. So you know, they made it to where they have plenty of mobs, they respawn real quickly, and they only have 1 HP. So it definitely makes it very convenient when it comes to leveling. You never have to be like, oh, you know, I want to level this alt, but I don't know if I want to level, you know, right now. It really, I think it takes on, what was it, my shaman, who, you know, who don't really have much AoE. It took him, I probably did it in 15 minutes at most, maybe, I don't know, and it was also like 2 in the morning, which, you know, probably can do it quicker, you know, because the server's not huge, real heavy, so there's not a ton of people leveling. And at the point that it's at right now, most people are just gearing up. So if you know, if you hate the serious grinding leveling, then this is definitely the server for you, because there is none of that. It's just real simple, real easy, and you know, you don't really have anything to worry about. You just follow the path along and just bam, 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 knock out the mods, or knock out the mobs. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and show you guys is what happens after you hit level 255. There is a little bit of grind, not necessarily grinding, but farming you have to do. Doesn't take very long. So I will see you guys here in a moment with that next portion. Alright dudes, welcome back. So now we have the next portion of the server where after you hit 255 you have to go ahead and start gearing yourself up for the dungeons. And the way you do this is you will see these 3 vendors right out here who have Generation 1 weaponry, they have Generation 1 gear, and they have Generation 1 items like offset pieces. Now the cool thing about the server is that for the main set gear, they do have all 3 specs. They have tanking gear, healing gear, at least if you can do those, and then DPS gear. So if you want to heal, then get the healing gear. If you want to tank, get the tanking gear. If you want to DPS, get the DPS gear. You know, and being a 255 fun server is you have the ability to do all 3, but the gear allows you to do 1 if you prefer one over the other. So after you hit 255, you want to come on back to the starter zone. And if there's a lot of people here, you don't necessarily have to do it here, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and show you. All you do is you attack these creatures, you know, and just kill them. And then what you do is when you loot them, you get gold, and you get these things called apprentice tokens. And you're not always going to get 1. Sometimes you'll get 4, or you can get a max of 5 per kill, I believe. And you just farm this until you farm each piece of, you know, gear Generation 1. And Generation 1, all weapons cost 300 each, so I always do those first, and it just makes it easier to get it over with. Main set costs 150 a piece, and then your accessories each cost 100. So it is a little farming, but honestly, it used to be each kill only dropped 1, but now that they made it to where they can drop up to 5, it's a lot quicker. So, you know, it definitely is a lot more convenient if you just find a spot where there aren't very many people and there's a lot of mobs. You know, a lot of people just choose here because it's right here, but, you know, it's technically your own personal preference. So once you hit Generation 1, once you get all the Generation 1 gear, you're going to want to look for a group for Molten Core. Now, Molten Core is the first raid, if you will, where you find a couple of people and you go ahead and raid it. This will drop Generation 2 items, and I will see you guys in Molten Core while you see me with a group helping people out, just running through. I'm not going to go through the entire dungeon, but I will just skip through certain parts, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you some of the bosses and what they drop. Mainly, I'll just show you the bosses and what they drop. So I will see you guys shortly, and we'll go ahead and go over that. Alright dudes, welcome back. So now we are at Molten WoW, and I do want to ahead of time just let you know that I went ahead and skipped through all the walking because this fucking raid is so long, and it was just so much easier to just basically go through each of the the bosses just so you can kind of see, you know, it's regular usual encounters. Just they have their HP buff, damage buff, and then, you know, it'll kind of show you an idea of what sort of things drop off each boss. For the most part, you know, the bosses are pretty simple. You know, this doesn't require a 10-man raid, but, you know, it will help if you do have at least 5 people. You know, sometimes having a tank and a heals definitely helps. But, you know, occasionally you'll find a donor, much like myself, who these guys needed help with, and I went ahead and helped them out. Now, I do want to give you guys a heads up that there are donors, and donors are, just like in any private server, are always going to have a bigger advantage, like myself. I am a full donor on 2 characters. This was money that I had saved up for this new server, and so don't think I'm a cheat or anything like that. I do have a character that I am leveling up solo, straight up, the right way, and stuff like that. These 2 characters were the first 2 characters I had when this server launched, so, you know, don't think, hey, he's a cheater because he donates. Believe me, it's like one of the first private servers I've ever donated on, so just give me a break here, okay? But nonetheless, this Molten Core is awesome. It's a lot of fun. You know, there are always people looking for Molten Core, especially during the day when there's like 30 people on. It doesn't seem like a lot, but, you know, it's a brand new server. So, honestly, what in the world do you expect? You know, server's got to get promotion, right? Right. And everybody drops some sort of gear. You know, I'm not too sure on the drop rates. It's kind of hard. I haven't done it enough to really get, okay, what gear drops more than others. I do know that Baron Geddon, the giant flame elemental, he drops offset pieces as well as the mobs, like just the regular plain old mobs. They drop offset pieces, and then Ragnaros, who's the final boss, drops weapons. But for the rest of the bosses, they all each individually drop some sort of gear, whether it's offset pieces like, you know, bracers, boots, belts, or helmets, or shoulders, or something or other. Oh, excuse me. So, you know, all you got to do is it does require a little bit of farming, but you know what? Learn to have fun with it, guys. I know it's never any fun, but sometimes it's necessary. And if you just find the right people, you can have a good old time. I was having a good old time with these guys at like 2 in the morning. So, you know, just cut me a break and just understand that this server is definitely worth it. And I'm hoping to promote this server up to the point that it's a lot of fun to play on. They do have all sorts of things going on. You know, if you're a donor, you get different donor perks. If you vote, they have voting weapons, things like that to kind of get you started. But, you know, most of all, it's just a lot of fun because they're always working on it. They're always coming up with new content. They're slowly releasing PvP gear for the server. So, you know, if you haven't checked it out, I do just want to put it out there that it is definitely, you know, worth checking out. Now here, right here, while I'm fighting this guy, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I do want to mention that occasionally you'll get a bugged boss. This guy, more than anything, what'll happen is you'll kill him and he won't drop any loot. It's never any fun, but, you know, sometimes bugs happen, and you just gotta move on. So, you know, please don't complain about it. It really drives me nuts when there's no loot, you know, but just, there's no loot, you know, just keep on moving, guys. Just keep on moving. And, you know, so this is the first dungeon that you guys will do after you get Generation 1. The entire server is surrounded around custom gear. There is nothing but, you know, and on average, after you get full Generation 1, depending on your class, you'll have about 4 million health. Now, my Paladin here, as you'll notice, has about 30 million health, but that's because he's a full donor. Full Generation 3, I think it's up to like 22 million health, something like that, depending on the class. Warriors will have a little bit more due to their talents and things like that. But donors will obviously have more. They put out more damage, things like that. So, you know, hopefully you guys will definitely look into this. We still have a couple of more things to go over, being that there are a couple of other things I do want to show you guys that kind of just gives this server an edge over others. One of those being the transmogrification. A lot of private servers, because it wasn't released in Wrath of the Lich King, don't have it. But they should, because, you know, much like myself, a lot of people's favorite... Oh, what did it mean? A lot of people's favorites, tier sets and designs and things like that were based around older WoW. Vanilla WoW, BC WoW. So, the transmogrification sets, they just make the game so much better. You know, you'll notice later that on my warrior, I have basically, what do I have? I have all of Wrath 2, and also I have the Obsidian Edgeblade because that's my favorite sword ever in the entire game. My favorite sword model, I should say. So, you know, the transmogrification does definitely give this server a bonus, and that's actually what we're going to go over here. We are working on the final boss needed to release Ragnaros, and we had a bit of a trouble because someone spawned a bunch of fire spawns, and these motherfuckers are annoying as hell because without AoE they just take forever to fucking die. So, you know, here we have Ragnaros. He is the final boss, and we were kind of just chilling while we were waiting for him to spawn. And when we kill him, you'll notice that he drops weapons. He drops 2 or 3 weapons at a time, and, you know, much like other private servers, there is farming required. So that is something you guys need to know. There is going to be farming. You just need to be patient. Understand that once you get your gear, when they start releasing new content, it's going to make things so much better. Once the server gets real popular, it'll be a lot more fun. So this was Molten Core, and the next thing we're going to go ahead and go over is the transmogrification. I'll see y'all there. Alright dudes, welcome back. And, well, not necessarily welcome back, but to the final portion of our video, we are going to go ahead and go over the Transmog Mall. It is actually a very simple mall, very easily designed. In this large outer circle here, we have all of our different armor vendors needed per class. You know, each of them are going to have just for your class. Starting over here with Arena Season 1, right here. And then it just goes around, going all the way to Arena Season 8, and then PvP accessories, cloaks, belts, bracers, raid gear, and then over on this end it starts with Raid Tier 1. And to those who don't know, that is the simple, you know, for the Paladin, for example, it is the Lawbringer set. You know, you can see that here. That's what it is. And in the middle, you have all of your different vendors for, you know, your weaponry. Unfortunately, they don't have all the weapons in the game that could be used for transmog. They only have the Wrath of the Lich King weapons, which was honestly disappointing in my book. But you know what? So, you know, it's just a work in progress, guys. So you're just gonna kind of have to settle for these. Some of them are still pretty badass. You know, if you're like on my warrior, where's two-handed swords right here? You know, they do have Armageddon, and then they also have Obsidian Edgeblade blades. So, you know, they do have those. And the way it works is you just gather the items that you want, whichever set you want, whatever items you want, and then you come over here to this big ghastly ball here, and you right click it, and then you have head, shoulder, shirt. You just click on it, and it'll say, you know, you want to choose this one, not remove transmogrification, but choose the item you want to transmog it to. And it costs like 9 gold, and it's, you know, it's cheap. And then eventually you end up like this. So, you know, it was pretty awesome. You know, it's definitely pretty cool because transmogrification, that way nobody looks the same. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please rate this video a thumbs up, because this video is actually for a video contest I am doing for the server, because you know what? We need to promote the server. They are awesome. The entire staff is awesome, and I love this server. So if you are interested, please come check it out. You know, I'll be more than welcome to answer any questions. There's tons of players on who know what they're doing. Luckily enough, a lot of them speak English. And, you know, so again, if you guys enjoyed, please come check out the server. Please rate this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I've got a lot of stuff coming your way. It's coming, guys, I promise. And I will check y'all later. Peace.